you can change your opinion. Nothing wrong with that. First of all, Ben White got injured a long time back. I forget exactly when he got injured, but he felt some discomfort to start the season and hasn't played much. Norgard, surely we're not going to blame Arteta for Norgard, who hasn't kicked the ball for Arsenal since preseason. As for Bukayo Saka's hamstring, Bukayo Saka, it's an unfortunate event. He's going to be okay though, hopefully. That you can say because he's played a lot of game time for Arsenal and England. You can blame Arteta, you can blame Southgate, you can blame whoever you want. But unfortunately, Bukayo Saka got injured. That's a freak accident with Jesus, where he got a crucial ligament injury after coming back from a ligament injury. Just that same what do you call it? 2 months before that. Then Kai Havertz getting a knee injury in training. Once again, I think that's a sheer accident. If you want to sit here and say that Arteta is to blame for all the injuries that Arsenal currently have, in addition to Saliba's, that I just don't agree. Saliba got injured in the warm up, and he twisted his ankle. The team decided, you know what, he's good to try to give it a go. He gave it a go for 2 minutes. They took him out. Didn't work after 2 minutes. They took him out immediately. It's not like a situation where you can sit here and say everything is down to Arteta. The issue I have is you're almost implying that all the injuries and every single injury, you're almost implying that every single injury and everything that's happening at Arsenal is down to Arteta. I just disagree with that. You can at best you can maybe blame him for Saka's injury at best, but to sit here and blame Arteta for everything is crazy. Next, when speaking about giving the manager players, giving him a squad, and saying Andrea Berta's to thank, of course, that's Andrea Berta's job. Edu's job, he was not doing it well. He literally sat there and said to us on the final day of the window, Raheem Sterling, we did not want to sign him, but he's here and I think he can do something for us. He ended up not being able to do anything for us and is now going to get bought out of his contract at Chelsea. So when we're sitting here and we're talking about Arteta getting players in, and why is it always in a light of, oh, Arteta's getting something to the benefit of him, where when we speak about it from the squad that we had the year before and the year before that and the year before that, the squad were nowhere as good as the team that we have now. We competed to a certain level the last 2 years before last year. Last year, we didn't compete to the same level. I expect this team to compete, and I expect this team to be much better than the seasons prior, with a striker, which we've all asked for, which another creative player in Eze, which we've all asked for. And I believe Zubimendi, Odegaard, Rice midfield, with the attack that we now have, we have the most complete team we've had under Mikel Arteta. And this team, even with injuries, should be able to get over the line, regardless of what Liverpool or anybody else do.
But I got, you know what? Yeah, I'm very, very happy that you brought that issue of our attack. Yeah, we just brought in someone. See, but I got, we are not different. Me and you are actually alike. We think in the same line, but there's some certain form of dichotomy. Yeah, that I would like to, because I'm really real. I'm a real person. Now, see, yeah, when you talk about Victor Gyokeres, I'll just throw you a straight question. Do you think Victor Gyokeres is being used tactically in a way that would make him a very, very effective number 9 in this team, to your own understanding?
I don't think 3 games are good enough sample size
using him to his best, to the best of his abilities? Do you think so?
I don't think 3 games is good enough sample size to come with a conclusion. To say he's
no. That's excuse. No, right, that's not an excuse.
That is an actual fact.
That's excuses. I've seen Ekitike come from Germany. No. We don't accept that. We've seen Ekitike come for big time money, and he's at Liverpool, and he's banging in goals. No, and he's banging in goals. Don't do that, Bavega.
No, what do you mean don't do that? One guy has 2 goals, the other guy has 2 goals. They both have 2 goals.
No, we're not doing that, Bavega. You can see his overall gameplay. But we could see Ekitike. We see how he's playing. We see that he's playing as a whole.
How did he play versus
Arsenal? Part and parcel of that foundation in just 3 games for Liverpool. We all know
it doesn't matter.
We can see it. Now, when we see Gyokeres, yeah, forget that he scored 3 goals. I love Gyokeres. I wanted Gyokeres in
No,
this
but
team.
come back to your point.
No one can tell me about Victor Gyokeres.
Come back to your Ekitike point. Tony, come back to
you know
your
what? Yeah,
Ekitike point.
you know what? You know what, brother Igal? Yeah, I have watched. I mean, unlike some people who just really watch the Premiership, I've really watched. Yeah, the Portuguese league. Yeah, just forget about Northside. That's his home. That's his wheelhouse. Let's not even go to what he thinks. But bro, let's go with what I think. Yeah, I've watched Victor Gyokeres completely dog walked Carreras, who took a straight walk straight to Real Madrid. I've seen him put him on a dog leash. I've seen him make Pepe look like dog shit. Yeah, this is the bro. I've seen him make Otamendi look like shit, absolute complete shit. Yeah, I know his wheelhouse. Look the ball up top and let man get the ball and run, bro. 1v1, 1v2s, bro. We know his wheelhouse. This sideways passing won't cut it. We know how to, bro. Sporting Lisbon have already put us on a blueprint on how to use this guy. The way we're using him in this team, Brother Igal, I mean, bro, we need to call a spade a spade. That's not how to use Gyokeres. Because we have seen from Sporting Lisbon how they play, bro, with even a more inferior midfield in terms of monetary value, yeah, with Sporting Lisbon, yeah, they're getting a tune out of it. And even if he plays in games that usually maybe it's not meant for the number 9 to shine, we do see in Sporting Lisbon games, Victor Gyokeres spark something up. But I mean, in the last 3 games, bro, with Victor Gyokeres, it doesn't really look good. He scored against Lee, bro. Come on, man, bro. Against who? Against what opposition? I'm talking of Victor Gyokeres playing against Manchester City, a big team, playing against the fellow big team. And actually,
let him reply, Tony. Let him reply, Tony. Let him reply.
And actually, dog walk in the defense of Manchester City in an European competition.
Let him reply, Tony.
Let him reply. Well in the games.
What are you talking about? Gyokeres. European competition. What are you talking about?
In the Champions League, brother man. We have seen Gyokeres do it against bigger teams. So when you said when he scored 2 goals, but you know that thing was just coming from the Champions.
There's 3 things you're doing. There's 3 things you're doing. There's 3 things you're doing that you don't need to do. Number 1, Gyokeres has played 3 games, and you want to give a 2-game sample size instead of 3 games. You want to completely ignore the 2 goals he scored against Leeds, and you only want to speak about the 2 games versus Manchester United and Liverpool away from home. But in the same breath, you want to big up Ekitike for his performance versus Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, and Newcastle, and ignore his performance versus Arsenal, which he did nothing. Actually,
I was talking of his all-round game, not just his scoring.
All-around game.
It's all-around game. That's what I was talking about.
1 second. All-around game. He had 2 passes the whole game and did nothing. As for Gyokeres, he created a chance versus Liverpool. Versus Manchester United, he did not have a great game. I'll give you that. It's his first game at Arsenal. We did not play as well as we could have. And in the first minutes of the game till the first 20 minutes of the game, you can see that we were visibly playing different as we were playing faster. And it was a back and forth affair versus Manchester United in that first half of that first game. Now, if you want to say we didn't play different versus Leeds, we clearly played different as we gave him through balls and more opportunities to run in behind. He took the ball by himself and slapped it into the back of the net. That's not a goal that Havertz would have scored. That's not a goal that Jesus would have scored. That's not a team goal that we would have had before Gyokeres. So if you want to sit here and talk about 97 goals that he had over 2 seasons and dumb it down to just 3 games, you're completely off it, mate. We have to have either a larger sample size before we start criticizing the manager for misusing a player. And we, at the same time, you guys don't want me to sit here and say Calafiori is all of a sudden the best player on the planet and the best defender we have after 3 games. So keep the same consistency when it comes to you guys saying, oh, a player's not performing well after 3 games. And yeah, I think your examples are slightly off If you were to sit here and after 10 games and say, yeah, we have the same problems, we have the same lack of creativity, we have the same lack of service, and he's doing this versus Nottingham Forest, having the same performance versus Newcastle, having the same performance versus these teams, then I would say you're right. But guess what? We only have 3 games, and you actually want to get rid of the Leeds game because of the level of opponent, but you want to ignore the difficulty of playing away versus Liverpool and the difficulty of playing away versus Manchester United. I don't think those are easy games, regardless of Manchester United's league finish last season.
Can I say something, Miguel? When you're talking about the Leeds game, I agree with the previous comment. He scored a penalty and he scored a header. Other than that, there was multiple opportunities where he could have got a hat-trick. This is what we're pointing at. You even saw the frustration against Liverpool. He could have had multiple goals against Liverpool with the chances that he was creating. What happens is when he's making runs, the defender's closing him down. Konate is closing him down and closing down the gap and closing down the space because we are taking way too long to release the final ball. And now it's not only one player, it's multiple players. That goes down to the manager to tell them to release the ball faster and to look for the runs from Gyokeres to release him the ball. This is why I've not got onto Gyokeres. I've not got onto Gyokeres because I'm seeing the runs. I'm seeing him do the right things. The problem is he's not receiving the ball. Has he scored 1 or 2 goals? Yes, we all said he's a good striker. What we're talking about is why is the team not feeding him? We no longer have Saka on the pitch because of injury. So we don't have to do this, we need to cater to Saka at the moment. Our one most clinical striker, we are not feeding him opportunities enough due to the amount of runs that he's making and putting himself in dangerous positions. By the time we pass him the ball, he's already been marked and the space has been closed down. That is our frustration about it. And playing Moreno in the 10 is not going to give the creativity to bring Gyokeres more into the game. And also, when you're comparing Ekitike to Gyokeres, Gyokeres wasn't the one going up against a midfield of 3 DMs and defensive midfielders. When Ekitike was, it's true though. It's true. Whether you want to accept it or not, we bought Moreno as a DM. So Bemendi's a DM and so is Rice. They're all defensive players, bro. And what we're saying is we rate the striker, which is why we want to see more from him. But when we're seeing him not get the service, that's the irritants. This is also alongside the fact that you've even admitted that we've got a lot of creative players on the bench. Whether you start Dalman or not, he's creative. Whether you're going to start Ethan or not, he's creative. Whether you're starting Eze or not, he's creative. So to get the most out of the striker that we have, that is our most clinical goal scorer right now that we can choose from, the manager's not getting the most out of that player. Martinelli was not giving him enough service. Madueke was not giving him enough service. Even though Madueke did well to give himself a couple of shots and opportunities, he's not feeding the striker that's clinical. That is what we're talking about. The tactics overall, when you're so, and the last thing I'll say, and I'll let you guys go, when you keep referring to the first 3 games of the season, I was seeing the same nonsense in preseason. That is why I'm talking about it. He was here for preseason, and I was seeing him not receive the ball fast enough. Gyokeres in preseason. Exactly. A lot of times I saw him making runs. I see him making runs. I see Gyokeres in preseason making runs, and they weren't finding him. They weren't finding him. And I was looking at Arteta to be like, can you change it at half time so we can receive the ball? A lot of the times, I know Odegaard didn't start against Liverpool, but they were holding back that pass. And then I see Martinelli doing the same thing against Liverpool. That's what my frustration is. You guys aren't killers in front of goal. Pass it to the striker. He's making the run. He's making the opportunity. I think that's a fair criticism. I'm not saying Gyokeres is shit. I'm not saying Gyokeres ain't playing well. Yeah, but all strikers rely on service, bro. And sometimes he's making runs and not being seen. I think that's a fair criticism, man.